Why, hello everybody. Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video, this special premiere, I am premiering this video today. Don't know the date yet, but today is my honorable mentions movies of 2024. So without further ado, everyone, welcome, and let's discuss. Alright. Alright, so with this today, I wanted to make this a premiere. I haven't done a premiere in a long while, but I wanted to sit down here. I've had like 30 movies. I haven't counted these. Let's count here live. Let's count here on the live premiere. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is not 30. I was close. Almost like 20 movies. I'm 3 off from 20. And I wanted to discuss all of these. In no particular, I try to rank these based off of like excitement and kind of like, I'm not doing a tier list, but like say like how much I liked it versus how much I disliked. So I kind of put them in a slew of a random ranking. But again, most of these I have biasy towards. Other ones I just like really had a great time in theaters. And I was gonna sit down like in previous years. I've just talked about my like 4 or 5 honorable mentions, but this year I decided, you know what, I watched so many movies this year, and this was like a really big year. Getting back, like rebranding my channel, getting into the movie industry, not in the movie industry, but movie world of talking on YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I have to make a separate video for this. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the best Christmas pageant ever. Now I have to elaborate. This movie, I watched it. It's in my top 10 Christmas movies of all time. And being at the bottom doesn't mean, oh, it's the worst movie of this list. These are just honorable mentions. Like I said, I'm grabbing all of these and just like mixing them all around. So one of them had to be at the bottom. Like any top 10 list. This isn't top 10, but for all these for all these movies here, one of them was going to be at the bottom, and I just picked like Christmas to be at the bottom. So it doesn't mean it's bad. Like again, if it's a tier list, like this would be like at the top of the tier. This is a great movie. This made me cry, and after watching this, I went, I have to go watch this with my parents later during Christmas time. This is a great movie, inside and out. It takes like nostalgia of like Christmas time, and better yet, even though it's a Christmas movie, I feel like you could show it to anybody at any other time of the year. And it'll make them cry, and B, they'll just fall in love with the movie. It really shows impactful storytelling. It really shows just great, like, again, nostalgia for film, classic, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not highbrow, like, big budget stuff, and it's just, thinking about it, like, I don't want to spoil the movie, but the way it takes real life scenarios and throws the Christmas pageant. Let me put it this way: A Christmas Story, the movie A Christmas Story, has never been one of my movies I watch at Christmas time or wherever. Like I know there's quotable moments in it, but like Home Alone and Elf are the movies for me, and other Christmas movies. But this one is, because it has like that Christmas pageant spin. Like A Christmas Story works; it's fine. I just don't remember anything. I remember watching it and I was like, okay, that's fun. It's fine. But the best Christmas pageant ever has so much heart, and I will tell everybody about it. And this one will stand the test of time. So that comes in there. Red One is another Christmas movie that I really like. This is one sorry, I shouldn't say fell in love with. I had a smile on my face from beginning to end. Now this one's kind of like sitting in the middle of the tier list. I'm kind of, spur of the moment thing, I'm kind of doing like an imaginary tier list off the top of my head now as I go along with these. I should really, like what I should have is like B-roll where I put it in the tier list. I would love to do that sometime, as like make a tier list, but to be honest with you, I'm just kind of spitballing, like talking about the honorable mentions and with you guys. So I kind of, like I said, I kind of like rank these, but kind of like, it'll be like in the middle for me. It's not my favorite movie of the year, but it's like in the middle. It's kind of like a C tier film. C tier or B tier? It's like a B movie. But I like this one. It's not a failure like most people are making out to be, but it's kind of like in the middle. It's like okay, like I get so hyped up. I get hyped up for this movie. The reason is because it's a Christmas movie, and more so because it gives me the Christmas spirit, gave me Christmas joy. People reviewing it as a movie, it's not the best, but I'm like, oh, it's so good. It's like a great Christmas movie. You just gotta go watch it. It's in my top 10 Christmas movies, and the reason for that is because of how much I really enjoyed it. But because it, like I said, it is a Christmas movie. It's just the charm about it. There's movies, like I said, A Christmas Story, it didn't resonate with me, but Red One did. So I just have those factors into that. So that comes in there. Next up is like my next three are like my horror picks, or actually next four. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about the other one. Maxine is up next, and this one for me is like A+ of this year. All of them are kind of A+. So Maxine, maybe B. Like I like Pearl, but Maxine, the whole trilogy of X was weird, and I didn't know how I felt. But then when I got into Pearl, I was like, this makes X look even better. And then when I saw the trailer for Maxine, I'm like, I can't wait for this one. It just seemed like Maxine was Pearl, I guess, was her story as well. But Maxine felt like an even like more developed story on the Mia Goth character. What was it called? Maxine. I forget her name. But I just like this one. I don't want to be. It's like a sexual horror movie. It's so crazy, but I love it a lot, and it was just my jam. And I love A24, and I love the trilogy, so it works for me. It's getting A+ there. Terrifier 3 is, again, I don't want to be a broken record because I've already made reviews for this, and I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. But Terrifier 3 with the Christmas skin on it, it's not in my top 10 for Christmas films, but it was a really good Terrifier movie. I can't wait to watch this one with my friend next semester, so I'm down for that. This one and Smile 2 I haven't watched with my friend yet. I watched the first Smile with my friend last fall, and we never went and saw Smile 2. I went and watched it myself. Great movie. Terrifier 3 is, again, a great part of the Terrifier trilogy. And Smile 2, I think Maxine, Terrifier 3, and Smile 2 are all like in the top tier for me this year. And Terrifier 3 and Smile 2, like I said, Smile 2 is just doubles down, or I shouldn't say doubles down. It takes all the elements from the first one and like improves the story with this singer-songwriter way better than that movie Trap, which is in my top 10 worst movies of the year, and then takes the singer-songwriter, does it better than Trap, takes the horror elements, makes it scarier than the first Smile. Oh, all of it works. And don't even get me started on the ending. Ending was brilliant. Ending was brilliant. Makes it. I'm so much more excited for the next one than it was. I'm like, okay, Smile 2. How are they going to do this? I thought they nailed it. It's one of the best horror sequels I've seen. Not including Terrifier 3. Like, I wasn't around. I didn't see Terrifier 1 when it came out because I wasn't really big into horror. And then when I watched Terrifier 2. Like, wow, this is great. Not knowing about Terrifier 1, went back and watched Terrifier 1 and was like, okay, this is fine. And Terrifier 3 was everything I wanted it to be. But Smile 2, compared to the first Smile, is like night and day difference. It's night and day. Literally, like, to me, it's night and day difference. So that's just me. A Quiet Place Day 1 is kind of sitting in the B tier category. I said all these horror ones were going to be in the A tier, but I lied. For me, it's just... I like the first two Quiet Places. I like the cast they got here, but I think after seeing the movie, I've only watched it once, and it's no pun intended, one. But I can't, something about it just like, I like the franchise Quiet Place, and I think John Krasinski was a producer on the number 2 or on this film, and you see him in the flashback, but at the very beginning. But I'm like, I just can't. Like I said, I like the duo. The sequences were fun, but other than that, man, I just can't. It's something that I've had trouble watching again. Not because of the horror, but because of the way the film is paced. It feels off. It feels like when I go watch the first one, it feels tense. This new one feels tense. But I don't know. I don't know if they're doing another one. It's just something for me. It felt like it didn't feel as memorable as I should be remembering it. So it's comes for me like right in the B tier. Next up is a movie called Blink Twice, and this is a movie that I really like. This is going in A minus tier because for me this is a great horror movie that I really like. It was like a thriller, horror, mystery aspect, and this is one directed by oh god, it's directed by I'm looking it up as we speak. Blink Twice. Directed by Zoe Kravitz, her directorial debut. And she's with, it's a tech billionaire, Slater King makes cocktail waitress Frida at a gala, invites her to join him and his friends for a dream vacation on his private island. Wild nights soon blend into soaked sun-soaked days, but strange things start to happen. Frida must overcome the truth if she hopes to make it out alive. It's a great premise. Haley Joel Osment's in it. Gina Davis, Christian Slater, just big cast. Channing Tatum, Naomi Aki, Adria Arjona, who is in Morbius and Hitman, and it's a great cast. It's a great cast. It feels like a Knives Out premise, but it's so good. Go watch Blink Twice. I give this an A minus, so that's another horror one. And another horror one on this list is Alien Romulus. And Alien Romulus is one of these movies that I have watched Alien and Aliens by two great directors, but they're movies I haven't watched in a long time. They're movies I have seen, but I haven't watched the entire Alien trilogy or Alien franchise. And Alien Romulus is a return to form for many people, and I was like, wow, this is a really good movie. I saw the trailers and I was like, oh, another one? It's Fede Alvarez, who did Don't Breathe, which I love. I haven't seen Don't Breathe 2, but Don't Breathe is awesome. Evil Dead 2013, which is an amazing Evil Dead movie. All the Evil Deads are great, but Evil Dead 2013 is great because of what Fede Alvarez did. And this Alien film, Alien Romulus, is great. Every Fede Alvarez film that I've seen is awesome, and this is no exception. So I was just blown away by this Alien Romulus movie, and it's another worth a watch. It's an A+ movie for the Alien franchise and for my honorable mentions this year. So for me, it comes in at an A+, and I that's all the horror films. So let's continue here. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, another the horror comedy. This one failed. I liked it, but you know what? It's another one that's not that memorable. I remember more of it than I do A Quiet Place Day 1, but there's things about this one that I'm sorry. I like the cast, but if you remember Ghostbusters Afterlife, that was a treat. That was a treat, and that was nostalgia done. There was too much nostalgia and member berries in Frozen Empire. It was like, hey, remember the marshmallow guys? We gotta have those back. The Stay Puft Marshmallows, we gotta have those back. Oh, you remember Slimer? We gotta bring that back again. Because they had this little cute Slimer-esque ghost in Afterlife. They had those dogs back, but the dogs were significant to the story, the Hellhounds, whatever they were called. But Slimer wasn't in Afterlife, so you remember Ghost? We didn't have Slimer in Afterlife. We got to bring him back for this one. It's like, oh, really? Did you? You probably could have done something. I don't know. It just, I liked it, but you know what the thing is they changed the composer. I have frustrated things with composers this year, but the thing is they had somebody I can't remember the composer that worked on Afterlife. It was Rob Simonson who did The Adam Project and Deadpool and Wolverine. And somehow he took the original Ghostbusters 1984 soundtrack and did the piano do 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 and changed it, but revived it and made it so good that then when you're watching Ghostbusters Afterlife, the magic's not there, and I'm like, frustrated. So comes in there. It's probably I don't know whether to place this at a C or a B. I'm gonna put a B because I really like the Ghostbusters franchise, but again, it's not that. It's close from good. We're on the verge of greatness. We were this close. So, Now, going a bit of different route, we got Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, this one for me, I really like this one. If you remember, I had Despicable Me 4 on my worst films of the year, and that was tremendously awful. Kung Fu Panda 4 stuck true to its roots, where it actually had Kung Fu in it, and it had mentoring with Po leading training this new girl, this new what's her name? Mentee, Awkwafina's character. People have an issue with Awkwafina, fine, whatever, have a blast, do it. But I like the story involved. I like the martial arts. I like the villain. Viola Davis is the villain, and I like that they brought back some other things. It didn't feel forced that they brought him back because they were just there to talk. It wasn't like it was like it didn't feel. You might feel differently. You might think, oh, they were shoehorned in, but I didn't. So that's that. I just like this movie, even though the Furious Five weren't there. They showed up at the end to be there. I liked it. Like, don't get me started. I love the "Hit Me Baby One More Time" song. So I loved it a lot. But I saw this during spring break, and also I cried before this was the Wild Robot trailer, one of the best movies. So stay tuned for that when it's on my top 10. But I loved this. I had a blast with this movie, and if they do another one, I'll go watch it. So that's me. Next up is Love Live. Kung Fu Panda 4 comes in at a high B. So Ghostbusters Frozen Empire will be a low B. This is a B plus. So. Love Lies Bleeding is next, and this is an A plus. This was gonna be on my top 10 movies of the year until other movies came out and I had to readjust. But this is an A24 film. This was way better than. I mean, I talked about Maxine and I praised Maxine and I praised the X trilogy, but this is a one with. I don't know. There's some duo, but Katie O'Brien is so good in this movie. She's so built, and I love it a lot. And Katie O'Brien, go look her up. She was in The Mandalorian and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. She's so good in this. But just everything about this movie screams. What does it scream? Weirdness, because that's what A24 is. But also, it just screams like guest lesbians. I don't know. I don't know, but I love it so much, and I didn't even know about the trailer until one of my friends back in college was like, "Hey, have you heard about this new A24 film, Love Lies Bleeding?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Tell me now." So, watched the trailer, fell in love with it, then I went and watched the movie. Well, I didn't watch the movie when it came out first. Then I had to wait like a month or two, something, and I was like, So, then I watched it, loved it. It was on my top 10 of the movies of the year until Deadpool and Wolverine came out, like sometime, and then I had to readjust other movies and such. So there it is. Comes in at an A. A minus probably. A plus. Next up, we got Moana 2. This one is tricky. Moana 2. The reason I put it here is because it's not like Love Lies Bleeding is a better, but again, I'm just kind of ranking this off of tier list sort of things. Again, I love Terrifier 3 and Smile 2 more than Moana 2. I just kind of placed it this way. So. Moana 2 is a fine enough movie. It's that the songs, I haven't seen Mufasa yet. I don't think I will. Craven and Mufasa have not been on any list just because of how disinterested I was, and I didn't even put them anywhere on my honorable mentions or worst films of the year. But Mufasa, people are saying that it would work better without the songs. I think Moana 2, the songs are quite catchy, but they don't work as well as the first one. Here's how I'm going to elaborate. Lin-Manuel Miranda does a great job. I think it's disappointing on all levels that he did Mufasa and not this. I think Moana 2 would have been much stronger, if they had Lin-Manuel in the chair, the guy in the chair doing all the songs. Because don't get me wrong, Moana 2, the songs are catchy. I quite like the relationship between her and the sisters, the Moana and her sister. But you can feel that it felt like a TV show developed into a movie, which is the reason why they're doing another one, which is to focus on their own story, which I think is a brilliant idea. Complain all you want that they're doing another one, but I think that this is going to take the time to make the story even better. And based off that end credit scene, I think that the villains are gonna make them Legion of Doom type thing. I don't know, it just looks kind of cool. So that's her. I think it's a low B, or this is a B plus. Moana 2, or like a middle B, like a B minus. It's a B minus. It's not bad, but it's almost great. Inside Out 2 is next, and right away this is a B plus movie. This is a B plus, Inside Out 2 is an A minus. Where the first Inside Out is an A plus, this is an A minus. And why I say this is, don't get me wrong, I cried 3 times in Inside Out 2, but my issues with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire doubled down on this one. My boy, Michael Giacchino, left the film. Don't know why. And they said, nah, let's not do it. Again, this isn't a musical, but the score that Michael Giacchino did in the first one, when I go watch that, I feel like I gotta go watch Inside Out again, because that score makes you cry. There's various instances. This is just Inside Out 2 is just like Guardians 3. I watched Guardians 3 a week ago. and have problems with that one. I talked about my short about Superman, but go watch that short. This movie, like, the score is pretty good, like the anxiety theme and all that, it works. It feels like your anxiety, and I like the whole anxiety story, don't get me wrong, but Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is so deep with this anxiety story that I'm watching Inside Out 2, and I'm like, it's deep too, Inside Out 2 is deep. But I feel like if you had a Michael Giacchino score, it'd be, I would like to hear it. Alright. I guess I don't, I guess I can't. But anyway. Yeah, Inside Out 2 works with all the emotions, and I like it. I just wish the music was Michael Giacchino's score, but other than that, it's an A-. Alright, as I said, this list is all over the place, but it's okay. Gladiator 2 is up next, and again, this is just like where I place things. I like Inside Out 2 a little bit more, but Gladiator 2, kind of doing like a tier list, spur of the moment. I just had to specify that again. Gladiator 2 is a B-. It's a great epic scale movie, great scenery, great shots, but if you're comparing it to the original film, it's not a great comparison. Not a great side sequel, like next sequel. So yeah, I think that, I mean, this was definitely Ridley Scott's magnum opus movie, but I don't think that it worked in the sense that he was hoping, or maybe it was, but to me and as other people, like, it's fine. I think it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, good job, but it's better than Napoleon, good. I didn't see Napoleon, I just heard various sources and descriptions about it, but okay. But this is fine. Like, if you want an action-packed movie, go for it. If you're expecting the same thing as the first Gladiator, no. It won't be that. So, I hate to disappoint you, but I am disappointing you. So, yeah. Like I said, I made a review of it, so be sure to check that out. And I think I made a review on all these movies, so, yeah. Well, not the Christmas ones. I talked about them in my... Well, Red one I did, but not the best Christmas pageant ever. But anyway, Gladiator 2 comes in at a B-. If the Imaginary Friends movie... I did not watch the movie Imaginary, which I know people said was bad, but... I like horror, so maybe I'll check that out next year. But if it's one that I treasure down aside, because in my review, I said I had imaginary friends growing up, so invisible friends, but imaginary friends, so to speak. And this movie captured my childhood everywhere, and it felt like I was so sad when this didn't get a certified fresh rating, but I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Love the score. Speaking of Inside Out 2, where I was disappointed about Michael Giacchino, and I loved it. This was composed by Michael Giacchino, and I loved it. So everything about this movie, from the music, from the story, from the emotional beats, from the imaginary friend characters, it's magic. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but it's magic. You know, screw with that. It's a perfect film. Like, what makes a movie... I could make a TED Talk out of this. What makes a movie? But realistically, like... I mean, I guess it's not a perfect movie, but it's a charming movie. And to everyone who's like... Excuse me. To everyone who says, what? Like... this film is... I'm like... Alright, cool. But if you just don't like Joy... Don't watch this. Like, me with Red 1. Like, I liked Red 1 because it put a smile on my face for the Christmas charm. Just like If. If is a fun movie. Brought my childhood. Like, made me think about my childhood. Now, I'm not saying to everyone, like, if you don't have imaginary friends, that's one thing. But if you're watching this going, this has no heart, this has no soul. Like, what are you talking about? Like, did you watch the same movie I did? Did you see the imaginary friends? Did you see the relationship? Did you see who Ryan Reynolds was at the end? Did you? Because I don't know if everyone did. Now, I understand everyone, like, it's everyone's opinion, everyone has different feelings. But, like, this. Now, I do want to say something real quick, that I kind of like this better than Inside Out 2, and the reason for that is, I think Pixar has been hitting... There's a Pixar movie coming out next year called Elio. I am not excited for it. However, I think Inside Out 2 hit the beats it needed to. If made me relive my childhood because I had imaginary friends. So, I like movies where it does that, like, has like a little bit of a friendship. Inside Out 2 works on all the levels it needs to, but again, the music, I wish it was different, but anyway, the music's a different story, but again, If made me feel differently about who I am inside. So that's just me. Alright, If is an A+ in my book. Like I can't discourage, even though the reviews say otherwise. Screw it. I love it. If and it's an A plus for me. This is a movie I will be passing down to my kids, saying, "Watched it." Like, I think this is appropriate for a 5-year-old. I mean, I'd say so. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's PG. It's nothing wrong with it. This is a movie that I need to show my kids early on, and I will be there for it. So that's good. Beetlejuice 2. I'm coming right out. This is an A. It's an A. It's not an A minus. It's not an A plus. It's just an A. The reason for that is because I'm a big fan of the original Beetlejuice. It's on my top 10 films of all time. Beetlejuice 2 is everything that not I wanted to be, but it just fits the world of Beetlejuice. And I was out. I dressed up to go see the movie. I dressed up as Beetlejuice for Halloween, and I loved the movie with a passion. Passion is a strong word, but I still like the world. So, and I actually saw it was on Max, so I went back and watched the end sequence again, and I still had fun with it. It's great. I think it works on merits of a sequel, unlike Gladiator 2 failed. Now you might be wondering, why did you put Gladiator 2 in your honorable mentions if you say it failed? Well, this is the reason, because it's an epic movie. I think it works on the levels it does, just like Inside Out 2, but there's some nitpicks I'm just mentioning, right? There's some little nitpicks. Just like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. There's some nitpicks about some of these movies, like Kung Fu Panda 4, people have issues with. But these are my honorable mentions, right? Okay, just want to make that clear. Beetlejuice 2 just works on that front, so it's an A. We got 3 more left. 3 more. Twisters. This is a movie where I was confused. Genuinely, I was confused. I was like, wait, Twisters? Was there a movie called Twister? Like, that came out years ago. Like, before I was even born. Like, what? And, I mean, I know there's many movies that came out before I was born, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, Beetlejuice. Okay. But I was like, oh. Like, people are like, oh, it's like a reboot. It's like a revival. It's like a sequel with new cast, so they're talking about the same thing that happened in the last one. Oh, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I see the movie, I watch the trailer, and I go, okay, that looks pretty epic. Like, that looks cool. I'll be there in the theater, watch it in the theater with my dad. I'm like, that was awesome. Like, it felt like they're trying to develop a new age, kind of like, I don't know, DC, what DC's doing right now. I don't know, it felt like just a revival to this movie. Kind of like Beetlejuice 2, except they don't have like a younger generation. It's just it's just like a Tornado Twister, what's it called? Tornado Wranglers going out. By the way, Glenn Powell in this movie rocks. I love it. Wait, I forgot about another movie. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. It's in my top 10. I'm an idiot. I was like, for a second I was doing a double take because I was like, wait, I forgot about another movie. But no, I didn't. So Glenn Powell in this movie rocks. I got another Glenn Powell in my top 10, so if you know what that is, maybe you don't, stay tuned for that. But I love Glenn Powell, and he just rocks in this movie. And Katie O'Brien's in this movie as well. The main girl, the main blonde girl, whatever her name is great. And David Cornsweet, who's new Superman in this, is great. And In the Heights guy is great. Anthony Ramos is great. Everything works in this movie. I just love Twisters. It's a great disaster movie. It's like one of the best disaster movies I've ever seen. I mean, Twisters is fine. The original Twister is fine, but this one's great. So there you go. Twisters. Oh, I didn't make a review, rating. This one's getting an exact A too. I think Beetlejuice and this one get an exact A. So it may be an A plus because of how fun it was in the experience for the theater. So it's for me. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is up next. Now, this one and the next one I have are 2 big ones of the year that are on my honorable mentions for me. Like, if I had room for a top 15, these would make the top 15. And, like, these were epic great movies to see in the theater this year. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I literally just saw this yesterday. I just made my review earlier today, day of this recording. But not the day of this premiere, but... So, I saw this yesterday, day of this recording. And it's great. It's my favorite of the Sonic movies. And if you saw my review, thank you. But I loved it, and I can't wait for the next one. The end credit scenes are amazing. I say they're amazing as a Sonic fan. You know, Shadow's still out there. We got Metal Sonic and Amy Rose. What's going to happen next? I predict that we get Silver the Hedgehog in number 4, like how we got Tails at the end of the first one. And then Knuckles was in the second one. We got Amy Rose at the end of the third one, and Silver in 4. Now, I could have any character's number 4. You know what'd be cool? Is what if we get a ring, and like Amy Rose is like, you got more friends. Whoo, there's a ring. And then like you see like Vector the Crocodile and Big the Cat and Silver the Hedgehog and Rogue the Bat, and oh, it would be awesome. Anyway, that's just like fan theorying. But anyway, love this movie. Jim Carrey still is the show. I hope he's still out there because he's a big part of the franchise. And this movie, this franchise is all about family, Tom. It's all about family. Just like Fast and the Furious. This is like the Fast and the Furious for kids. Anyway, loved it a lot. It's an A+ for me. A+, best Sonic movie there is. And the last one I'm going to talk about here today, again, I love Sonic 3 a lot, but this is just a great theater experience, was Wicked. And I was dubious. I will run around this room, not really, I would walk around this room and like shake my head like, really? Why are they doing Wicked? Like, that was me with Mufasa. That was me with Mufasa. Like, Craven, I haven't talked about either place on my top 10 worst or my honorable mentions. I didn't talk about Mufasa anywhere. I talked about Moana 2 because I thought it was pretty good. Like, I enjoyed Moana more than I was actually anticipating. But I was having issues with Mufasa, with Moana, with Wicked. I'm like, why am I being so negative about Wicked? I love the Broadway show. I love the music. So I was like, screw it, I'm excited. I changed my tone, I'm like, this looks awesome. Then I went and watched it, and I cried at the finale. And, finale. At the intermission break. This is the longest intermission of anything ever, because we're getting Wicked for Good, or is Wicked Part 2, but Wicked for Good that comes out next November 21st, I believe. So yeah, this is great. It's definitely going to get some nominations for the Oscars, and I'm quite excited to see the Oscars and what happens. But just the set design from the singing, Cynthia Erivo's last note, made me cry. But all that said, it's a great movie. It's getting an A+ for me. But Sonic 3 was also a great experience seeing that in theaters. Just all of this to be said. Those are all my honorable mentions of 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in today as I take one final drink. But tell me how you would rank this list. What you think of these honorable mentions. Do like put in the comments below like how you would rank them, like based off of like your little tier list number, like A+, B+, B-, C. But other than that, yeah, I like to hear it. I just got a notification on my computer, so I was checking that. But we're back, and I love talking about movies. I was glad to do this video. Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this premiere, and I will be back for another premiere. I think next week about my end of the year, not celebration, but my end of the year how it went video, and so I got some stuff. So don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me over at Facebook right now. I'm trying to get things sorted out on Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Stay tuned for next week when I will have my top 10 movies of 2024, and that's coming out soon. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.